Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast for the second year ECE students, those of you that are in section 1. We are looking at the week of April 1st, so here's your calendar. First thing to keep in mind is that of course you've got practicum on Friday, as you do every Friday, and you've got your seminar on Monday from 12 to 1. If we look at some of your courses, now might be the time to get out your agenda or your calendar, whatever you're using. I invite you to follow along and keep up with us. And if you haven't done so, turn on the closed captions for this video if you think that might be helpful. So if we look at the week of April 1, and these are not April Fool's jokes, you've got your play exam on Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. worth 15% of your final grade. Then also on that same day, you've got your in-class assignment for the music and movement class, worth 5% of your final grade. And Judy wants you to read pages 161 to 172 in the textbook to prepare for that. And remember that those pages in the textbook are for your in-class assignment, but they're also going to help you out in the field. On Friday, there's some great tips in there about creating obstacle courses. So now that the snow is melting, that might be a really fun thing to do indoors or maybe even outdoors now with the children. We look forward to your Thursday this week. You've got presentations in the Intro to ECE class. That's worth 10% of your final grade. We talked about that last week. Remember the tips that Cassandra, our very experienced third-year student, gave us? No, not the part about picturing your audience in your underwear. What I'm talking about is Cassandra's tip that right before you start speaking, you take a big, deep breath and smile. So that's those presentations on Thursday. Then if we start looking at next week, on Wednesday, the 10th of April, you've got a test in your Intentional Educator class. That is worth 15% of your final grade. And I've set up a little timeline for you. So I suggest on Saturday you start studying for Intentional Educator. On Sunday you review your class notes for that. And then on the Monday, because your seminar is canceled on that day, you've got a nice 2 hours to study for that test. Zian has given us some study hints for your test in Intentional Educator. So the first thing that you want to focus on, this is according to Zian, insider knowledge, is chapter 4, especially pages 86 to 92, about creating a rich language environment. There may be questions about that. You want to also review the articles about resilience, the Johnson article and the Yockey and Sutherland article. You'll want to look at the article about autonomy as well, the Poudrier article there. Review the PowerPoint about verbal strategies, definitely questions about that according to Zian on your test. And then remember, the test will be 25 short answer questions. And again, that's worth 15% of your final grade. Also, next week, time to start thinking about your research paper for the Intro to ECE class. It is not due, it's true, until May 1st, but I interviewed Donna this week and she's got some good tips about how to stay on track with that assignment. So let's listen to Donna.
Okay. So the 3 tips that I can give to the students who have just been given my research paper would be time, research, and editing. So to give yourself enough time as a student to be able to write a really good paper, you need to be able to have the time to do research.
So we'll leave it there for Donna. We're going to hear more next week about that research paper assignment from Naomi, our third-year student. She did really well on the paper last year, and so she's going to have some tips for us for you guys to do well on that paper. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to feature our @Vanier ECE tweet of the week. This one is about how to deal with Defiance, something that I know is pretty relevant for you guys that are out in the field. And so you can find the full article on our Vanier ECE Twitter feed. The address will be in the description at the end of the video on YouTube. So if you want a transcript of today's podcast, that's also in the description at the end of the video, and you can feel very free to leave your comments and questions for me or for your fellow ECE students. And my final words, have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you.